So this tour was an official Ironman 4x4 tour. We decided to put a 10-day tour together, not too long, and take everybody into probably our favourite part of Botswana, up into the Khwai area on the edge of the Okavango Delta. I think the reason we decided to take you guys to Khwai now in the wet season, it's because it's a time of year that not everybody experiences. I think a lot of people are put off because I think it's going to be too hot and too muddy and that kind of thing, and obviously there's a bit of rain around, but it's chalk and cheese between the dry season and the wet season up there. As you saw, the greenery in the bush there is just spectacular during this time of the year. Game viewing is a little bit more challenging because the bush is so thick and there's so much water out in the bush. But in the dry season, it's probably one of the best game viewing areas in Botswana. Everything just concentrates down there around the Khwai River. We've got wild dogs running through camp. It's just spectacular.
The Khwai concession, spanning 1,800 square kilometers, lies in the northeastern Okavango, adjacent to the Moremi Game Reserve. Established by the Khwai villagers and overseen by the Khwai Development Trust, this area, once designated for hunting, has been transformed into a dedicated conservation zone. Originally inhabited within the Moremi region, the villagers assumed stewardship of the concession upon the creation of the Moremi Game Reserve. Presently, the local community drives ecotourism endeavors, engages in environmental preservation efforts, and responsibly oversees wildlife management within the concession. The bird life in this area is prolific. We had a glimpse of an African open-bill stork, black plumage against a green backdrop. Open-bill storks live in habitats where mollusks can be found, being long stretches of fresh water. Their main prey is freshwater snails. With the tip of the beak, it shakes a snail till the meat is extracted from the shell. Simon radioed and he said there are lions. It seems like it's 2 male lions. Let's have a look.
As you know, Simon is completely obsessed with lions. So he heard them calling all night and he knew exactly which direction they were going. So the very first thing we did, next morning, grabbed the coffee, engines going, and off we went to follow these lions, and there they were, 2 beautiful males under a tree.
So the one lion's lying down deep in the bush. I don't really have a shot of it, but this other lion is beautiful. Wow, what a mane. They reckon he's about 7 to 8 years old.
There's a big pride there in Khwai, so I couldn't quite piece together exactly what their role was, whether they were part of that big pride and they're just separated from the pride to go and patrol the territory and that kind of stuff, or if they are not part of a pride, they'll just be a coalition which obviously makes them stronger. So when they do decide that they want to take over a pride, the chances of challenging another male is a lot higher because they're two big, strong males. And they normally come into that part of their life around 7 or 8 years old. That's when they're in their prime, and that's when they're really ready to make their statement and take over a pride and carry on with their bloodline.
After the lion sighting, it was time for a well-deserved coffee break and some spooky sounds.
Right, so this is the scary part. Wait for it. Yeah, quite weird.
Mr. Gear,
Mr. Sir.
how did you find that lion?
Well, I didn't find it, first of all, but it was absolutely glorious. He was in such a great shape, and he almost looked like he came directly from the barbershop.
You promised us lions?
Promised you lions, Dirk. Did you doubt me?
Never. Did you find it or Des?
I put us in the right area and Des saw it.
So that's teamwork.
Yeah, but technically it's mine.
We go ask Des.
Let's see what she says. Yeah, she'll probably disagree.
Simon's lying. I found the lions.
Okay, so what is it now?
It's me.
Okay.
Dit was 'n wonderlike ondervinding om weer so naby aan 'n olifant te kom. Jy weet, hy was 'n enkele paar tree van ons af gewees en hy was rustig. En almal was rustig in die groep. So hy het gedoen wat hy wou en ek dink ons almal dat dit sy verskyning of sy spel baie geniet. En dan daarna nog die leeu's, die twee jong leeumannetjies. Toonbeeld van krag en jeug en dit was net wonderlik om so naby te kon sien. En al die diere is lekker rustig. Alle eer aan Simon en Des, hulle hanteer die groep uitstekend in sy veldkennis en sy kennis van die voëls en al die goed is uitsonderlik en hulle beheer die toer baie goed.
Another common sight in the Khwai area was the white-faced whistling ducks. They can occur in flocks up to thousands of birds and can be identified by their whistling call when they take off. They are also found in South America. We witnessed loads of impala offspring during our time here, and the young silly phase was in full force. I cannot believe it. It's day 2 and it's in the morning, and we've got more lions.
And then our next lion sighting, we were just driving along, and next thing we just saw this beautiful male pop out of the bush. And we sat with him for a while. And then Russell actually mentioned that he had seen a few vultures through the trees. He was obviously scanning with his binoculars. So what he did is he actually went around the bush and there was a female. So we suspect that they were mating.
We stuck around for a while with the pair, and it seemed like they were done with the mating period. Lions normally mate every 20 to 30 minutes for about 4 days. We decided to give these two a break and continue on our drive, but we would see them again in the afternoon. This time of year in the Delta, there's water available everywhere. So the Khwai River, that's the lifeblood of this area, doesn't see a lot of action in terms of elephants. You don't see a lot of herds of elephants coming through to drink that you normally do in this area in the kind of winter months. But there's one bull that's on his way to swim, and I'm going to try and film it. Hopefully it comes this way. But that makes it special. Seeing this one elephant here is pretty special. Hopefully it does the whole cycle of swimming and everything. Seeing this one elephant taking a mud bath in the middle of the day was a beautiful sight, almost like we had this elephant to ourselves. Standing still in one spot made it easier to film what was going on, and in slow motion it makes for a beautiful sequence. Elephants take mud baths to cool off during the hot days, but they also do this to remove parasites from their skin. The mud stays on the skin for longer and it keeps them cooler for longer. And once the mud dries on the skin, the elephant will rub himself against the tree to remove the excess mud, thus removing any parasites sticking to its skin.
So we had a very successful morning drive today, so now we're going to go out now this afternoon, see what we can find. I think what we must do is go and do a little water crossing, get the tyres a little bit wet. We'll head down towards where those lines were and cross over the Mbudi Channel. Just give everybody a little briefing on how to do it safely. Then we go across there. There's a nice game drive route on that side up against the Khwai River. The wild dogs are normally found out that way, so we'll go and see if we can find them, and then head back and go and see what those two male lions are doing later in the evening, see if they get active, and then have a nice little sundowner next to the river. Okay, so this is where we're going to do our water crossing. As I said, it's a lot narrower than it normally is, so it's also going to be shallower. As you can see in the middle there, where the water's very dark, there's a bit of a dip in the channel there, because this is a narrow channel and the hippos walk up and down. The middle of it is normally quite deeper than normal. So the best line here, because normally when this is full, we head to that stump in the middle and then veer off to the left. As you can see just there where the grass starts again, there's another sandbank there. So when you get to the middle there, your nose is going to dip slightly into the water, then out again. It's just going to be a short kind of down through the little trough. So best thing to do is to go low range second gear, then just crawl in slowly, go into the water. Don't go in too quickly, because then it's going to splash up over the bonnet. Just watch the speed that I go through. You can basically just go through slowly and out the other side, and like I say, it's a lot shallower than it normally is, so it's not going to be too much of a challenge. But we'll go across the other side, and then we'll get some shots of you guys coming through.
After the water crossings, the heavens opened up, and we had a rendezvous with a female lion we saw earlier, just this time in a different setting. She was on the move, and we couldn't quite figure out what her intentions were. The male she was with earlier was nowhere to be seen, so we followed her.
we kind of followed her through the bush. She was contact calling, so we thought maybe she had cubs or something, or she was maybe just looking for the rest of the pride. So it was quite a challenge to follow her through the bush in that rain.
She was on a mission. She had her eyes on something and she was ready to go. So we followed her, and then the heavens opened even more and she decided to go lie under a tree. And we all tried to get around to get a nice view of her, and there was a nice sloshy muddy pit, and Russell went for it because we went through and Russell went through, and we heard over the radio, "I'm stuck." I was like, "Not now, Russ, not now." Yeah, and then we had to do a recovery with a lion right there.
Sy wil die recovery sien.
Luckily, once we had reversed and got ourselves into formation to recover Russell, she decided to get up and walk. And when she was clear from our view, we quickly hitched him and got him out.
Ready, so you can still be in low range second, and then as you pop out, then you can drive yourself out. I'll drive up a little bit to where it's dry on the left, and then we'll stop there.
Okay, done. I'm ready. You're out and moving.
Luckily, one of our other clients' gear, he went ahead and he followed her just so that we wouldn't lose her. We quickly did the recovery, jumped back in the car, sopping wet, and off we went and we followed her. And something that I've been wanting to see for years, and it's just that proper Okavango Delta scene that everybody wants to see. She crossed the river.
So when she got to the Khwai River, she kind of just, you can see she was apprehensive, tiptoeing through the mud, and then she just looked around, sniffed a little bit, and decided, okay, now's the time. Went into the river, swam across, out the other side, big shake, and then disappeared into the distance into Maremi, which is on the other side of the river to Khwai.
Guys actually see her swimming across. Yes, we did. Wow. Yeah, because the grass is quite thick, so she went down and disappeared, but then we just saw her like jump out the other side. Very cool. Never seen that before. Me neither.
Yeah, then once that lioness had crossed the river, we thought, okay, now it's time to head back to camp. So we kind of went back on the same tracks that we came in on, and then just out in there, in the open, on a pan, that male was lying there, just on a little mound, king of the jungle, just looking out at everybody. And with that rain falling on him, just very chilled out in the open. It was probably one of the best lion sightings I think we had on the trip.
After a day of incredible sightings, I couldn't imagine a better ending to a day in the Khwai. That's what makes the rainy season special, are sightings like these. We headed back to camp through our water crossing, except this time there were a few crocs present, close to an elephant carcass. Arriving at camp with a delicious meal already cooked and new friends around a campfire discussing the day's epic sightings is pure happiness. We couldn't have asked for a more special day.
So Mbudi campsite is always a favourite when we head up into that area. On our Okavango Delta tours every year we always include that one. And when Des does like highlight to the trip, at the end of the trip, when we ask what people's favourite campsite was, I mean, we've been to other places like Magoto and Khwai, Third Bridge in Moremi, but Mbudi always comes out as probably the unanimous favourite.
So another reason why we love Mbudi is because they've got the little Makoro station there, and it's right at the campsite. So you just walk a few steps and you get aboard your Makoro and you just peacefully make your way down the Mbudi channel. And just peaceful. It's, yeah, again, something that you can't explain. Dirkie really wanted the shot of the Lechwe jumping, because that's the shot that you want, Lechwe jumping through the water or running through the water in the Okavango Delta. So we said to Dirkie, just hang back a bit and we'll drive, because obviously the car spooks them slightly, so then they start moving, and when one goes, they all go. And it worked perfectly.
Thank you so much for watching. If you do like the videos, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. And if you would like to tour with Ultimate Adventures, go to ultimateadventures.tv. See you next time.